kind of threw me off.
At long last, spring is in full swing in the Carolinas, and pollen's not the only thing floating around in the air. In fact, time you'll catch a whiff of hardwood smoke and the smell of meat cooking low and slow. You may not see a special calendar day like you do with vernal equinox, but those aromas wafting your way means barbecue season is here. And that means barbecue competition is heating up. So the Southern BBQ Network is back with the Low and Slow Barbecue Show. We're excited to be talking to some of the people behind the SBN's next big competition. It's Pork in the Park in Newberry, South Carolina. We've got event organizer Devan Moore from the city of Newberry, as well as Joel Macko from the competition team Smokin Butts and More. Guys, welcome to the Low and Slow Barbecue Show.
Glad to be here.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I can't wait to find out more about this year's Pork in the Park event. First, a quick reminder for first-time listeners and all our returning fans, please visit our website, lowslowbbqshow.com. You're there, you'll find interviews with pitmasters from across the Carolinas. We've got blogs with recipes and restaurant details and reviews. Of course, you can go there and subscribe to our newsletter, The Lowdown. We'll send the latest Carolina barbecue news and events to your email inbox on Tuesday mornings just before dawn breaks. You know, that's the time when the real pitmasters are out there firing up the smokers and their barbecue pits, just like they'll be doing for Pork in the Park in Newberry, South Carolina. So let's start there. Devan, what is Pork in the Park? When is it? Who's involved? And where is it all going to be happening?
All right, so Pork in the Park is a sanctioned barbecue competition. We partner with SBN and Mike. Those guys have been really good to us for over the years. So we've been doing this for about a decade now. So a lot of fun things are happening. This is my actual first Pork in the Park. So I'll be sure to bring my fork and my stretchy pants that day. I have a feeling I'll be eating a lot of barbecue. But it will be in downtown Newberry at Memorial Park around the square. We are also partnering with the Opera House in the Chamber. We will also be doing Towns and Tunes that same weekend. Will be April the 25th and April the 26th. So therefore, it's a 2-day event, and we're just excited to get it going.
Yeah, now, so I know there's a competition, and you mentioned there's another event going on there. I'm assuming the public's invited to come out.
Yeah. The public is more than welcome to come out. So on that Friday, we'll have a free concert. That's kind of partnering with the Opera House. They had a ticketed show for that Friday and Saturday, but instead of doing that, they just said, you know what, the whole public can experience this great music and the great atmosphere. So their ticketed concert has just been moved outside. And Towns and Tunes, our neighboring company from our neighboring city from Canada, they'll be in town. They were supposed to come the weekend before Oktoberfest, but unfortunately Hurricane Helene hit. So we had to push it back, and we said, what better weekend for Towns and Tunes to be for Pork in the Park as well. I feel like this is the most American you can get in the South. So it'll be on April the 25th and April the 26th.
That sounds wonderful. Now, if I'm the public, the concert's free now. Do I get to eat barbecue too with those stretchy pants and everything?
Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, bringing the stretchy pants and your own fork. So on Friday, we'll have a couple barbecue teams out there selling barbecue. So while you're enjoying your free concert, you can also eat barbecue.
That sounds wonderful. Okay, so you mentioned that this has been going on about 10 years, and I know you're new to the scene, but do you know anything about how this got started with Newberry?
I actually don't know the original story, their origin story of how this got started in Newberry. I'm just glad it did.
Yeah, that's for sure. We're all glad it did. Every time you can get a new barbecue festival on the calendar, it's a good thing. So I know Southern BBQ Network is always really, they put a priority on helping nonprofits and charitable organizations. So who benefits from Pork in the Park this year?
Well, I guess the whole city as a whole. The economy will benefit greatly just with having all of these high-level barbecue competitions here, such as Joel and Smokin Butts and More.
Yeah, wonderful. So you've kind of given us a little bit of a hint, but why should somebody come out? If I'm from Hickory, North Carolina, why would I come down to Newberry and spend a weekend there?
So you come out just because of the atmosphere and the small town vibes that Newberry brings. That and along with the free concert, this is a concert that was going to be ticketed that people were paying money to go to. So now just having the opportunity to come out there and benefit, so you can just see a nice performance.
Yep. And again, there's barbecue. It's going to be going on Friday, but now the event goes on Saturday too. What can folks expect during the Saturday activities?
So during the Saturday event, the same deal. So there'll also be a concert, and the mayor will be out there saying a nice few words about our neighboring cities in Canada. And then that's when the competition happens. That's whenever we take the gloves off, and that's when everyone has their game face on.
Yeah, so I'm at the website there. It's newberryporkinthepark.com. You can go there and get more information about it. I see that they're going to have beer and wine sales available there on Saturday during the competition. As you said, that the city's mayor will be there coming out, and it all going on at Memorial Park. Tell me a little bit about Memorial Park for folks maybe that aren't familiar with Newberry. What's all going on in that area?
Yeah, yes, sir. So Memorial Park is honestly the center of all the events in Newberry. This coming on March the 29th, we have the International Festival on for the city of Newberry. It will be in Memorial Park. Oktoberfest, the Christmas tree lighting, all our main key events take place down in Memorial Park.
Yeah, wonderful. And of course, there is a competition, and there's going to be judges there from Southern BBQ Network. What can folks expect from the competition aspect of this event?
So the competition is a sanctioned event. So you earn points to get to the national tournament. So it's kind of like a ranking system. So when you come Saturday, you can expect some really great barbecue.
Wonderful. And again, I see there's family friendly inflatables, or you're going to have activities for kids. So it sounds like it's something for the whole family on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, yes, sir. We're not just offering barbecue for the older folks. We also have kid activities for the younger folks. This would include a bouncy house and inflatable slide. So there's always something for everyone to do at every Newberry event. Did I cut out?
Yep. Nope. You're all good there. So that's great information to share with you. And again, I'm at the website, newberryporkinthepark.com. I see a whole bunch of vending and competing folks that are on there. It's going to be some exciting activities among those vendors. We see Big Glenn's Grill and Catering, Smell My Smoke, Smokes Crossroads, a lot of the competitors that we're familiar with, like Backdraft Barbecue of South Carolina. Looks like Ultimate Tailgaters are going to be there. Some friends of ours we've had on the show as well. And of course, our guest today will be there as well. That's Joel Macko. Joel, tell me a little bit about Smokin Butts and More. What is it, and how'd you guys get started?
Well, it all started as a hobby because I really enjoyed smoked food. And it got to be a little expensive because I liked it so much, so it becomes an expense. So I decided to learn how to do it about 10 years ago. And somewhere along the line, somebody said, "Oh, I'll try selling this stuff," and got a few canopies, a couple of coolers, and on the side of the road, and there we are. Now we're in a big red trailer.
Yeah, well, so tell me what's all involved with your operation.
Oh God, we do numerous things. We do pork butts, pork ribs, briskets, chicken. We make our own sauce. Everything we do is homemade, with the exception of a few little items which we can't beat, and it's a lot cheaper for somebody else to, for us to do it that way. But our main thing is our pork. We are all our smoked food is just came at a time. It just progressed over time and got better as we went along. And then we started competing in Newberry, which was my very first competition we ever had, my wife and I. And I think that particular one was about 4 years ago. I think this will be our 4th year at Newberry. And we competed, and I think there was 22 or 27 competitors that particular day. I can't remember exactly. We finished in the middle, which I thought was pretty good on our part, considering we've never competed. And these guys are competitors. They're all on the circuit, the barbecue circuit, and they're competing. And but we finished out, and that's pretty much, and we just keep it going. And we get a lot of feedback. We have over 200-300 followers over the past few years on our Facebook page, and it just keeps getting bigger. And we get invited to do things such as your show, and invited to people's towns and their events, all because of a little hobby that started out about 10 years ago. So it all worked out pretty well.
Yeah, well, take me back to that start in the hobby time. What kind of started the fire? What ignited it for you? And what did you do? What were the first things that you really started kind of cooking?
My main thing was ribs. I love ribs. And they got to be good pork ribs, baby back ribs. Everybody loves good baby back ribs.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was good, but I couldn't quite get a handle on it. And everybody likes that. Pull off the bone, slide out just slide out the bone out of the meat. But something just wasn't right. So I bought a very small smoker, the electric smoker, just to get myself going. And it came with a cookbook for recipes for sauces and how to do your meat. So I took that little bit of knowledge and then adapted to it and made it my own. And there was a few sauce recipes, and I did the same. I took somebody else's recipe, and then I wasn't quite happy with it. So I kind of played with it a little bit and came up with our signature sauce that we have. We don't sell it anywhere. You can only get it on our food truck.
Oh.
And on our food, we do not sell it. So so if you want to try it, you got to come get it.
Yeah. So where do folks find you? I know you're at the competition coming up at Pork in the Park, but are you running a food truck operation, or are you going to other locations, or is it strictly a competition deal for you?
No, I'm actually retired, and it was supposed to be a retirement thing, just a hobby retirement thing, but it turned out to be a little bit more, which was fine. But yes, we do go to other cities. Like this weekend, we have one in Chester, South Carolina, one of their events. I don't remember the name. My wife takes care of all the names, but I just have to get it all there. But in any case, but no, we go to York, South Carolina, pretty much within 100 miles of Kershaw radius, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little less, but it all depends on the event.
And so if folks want to follow you, where can they find out where you're going to be on any particular weekend?
We usually post on our webpage at Smokin Butts and More, and anybody can follow us there. My wife's pretty good about putting in at least 3 to 4 days in advance, sometimes a week. Depends how much notice we get on our end from the establishment or town we're going to be in. So, but usually we do post it. We do a lot of, believe it or not, we cater to a lot of corporations. We've slowed down a little this year. We've had little things going on. It didn't affect our food business at all, but we did scale back on catering to some businesses and some fairly big businesses. We'll do all 3 shifts if it's a shift work thing like that. So we've prospered pretty well in the past 5 to 6 years. So,
okay.
But like I said, we pretty much announce where we're going to be. Sometimes, like right down here in Kershaw, just on a whim, we'll say, "Hey, let's go downtown Saturday or Friday, and let's set up and see what happens. Let's give the town a little bit of something they'll appreciate."
Yeah, including that sauce, the signature sauce you can only get when the Smokin Butts and More truck pulls up. So you mentioned pork is kind of your priority. What kind of pork are we talking about? You got shoulders, you got ribs. What's your pork priority?
Well, I'll do pork shoulders. That's our main thing, hence the name Smokin Butts. But we give the same quality and time and effort in our ribs, our brisket, and our chicken. We don't do just whole chickens. We like to do like chicken quarters because it's already it's just a very good blend. You get a nice piece of meat, and the ribs are out of this world. I mean, people just say my wife and I both have had customers come back to us and ask, "How do you get this stuff to just slide off the bone but still stay on the bone?" That's a secret to be kept to ourselves.
Well, you got a lot of secrets there at Smokin Butts and More. Is there anything that you can reveal? Let's say if I'm out there listening and, I want to become an A1, backyard barbecuer. What's some advice you'd offer to somebody who's starting a hobby and want to kind of go down the trail you've gone down?
Well, first of all, you got to get yourself some aspirin or some ibuprofen because there's a lot of pain involved because you do keep late hours when you do barbecue. We don't take any shortcuts when it comes to smoking barbecue. And that's one thing you can tell people. If you're going to try it, never take a shortcut. Start out slow and low. And that's the key to anything. And just wait for it to happen. It'll happen all by itself. You don't have to force it. You don't have to do anything but be patient. but it is painstaking. It's a lot of work. You're going to lose sleep, but the reward from taking that time and doing it correctly is all worth the while.
Yeah, the proof's in the pudding, so to speak, or in the pork, as this case may be. So let's go down to the competition road. You kind of mentioned that you've done it there in Newberry. How do you feel like your competition setup has evolved, beyond what you've done just serving as a food truck out to the masses?
The first time we competed at Newberry, like I said, we've never really competed, so I had no idea of what to expect. So the first competition, my wife and I were a little frazzled, so to speak, because we competed in all three categories: the chicken, the ribs, and the pork butts. So it was a little rough, plus serve food at the same time. So here I am cooking fresh for the judges, getting orders out for the window. So it gets a little hectic. And now we're up, believe it or not, I sleep at the food trailer in the streets of Newberry for the event. And a lot of the other guys do too. Devan knows what's going on. He'll come out there. You'll see guys playing cards, just checking their smokers and doing their thing. But it's a 24 plus hour event for us as competitors. But when we started competing, it was kind of rough. I didn't know what to expect. And once we got it going, the second year was okay, it's not too bad. But it was just as bad, but it was just easier because we did it once before.
Right.
And then but we're one of the food trailers that compete and sell at the same time. There are some that just go there to compete, and I can understand that because that's what they do. That's what they like to do. This is what I like to do, so that's what we do. And my wife likes she loves the people. I mean, if you come to the window, she'll always give you a smile. She'll talk to you. Hi, how are you? And this, just like normal people. And that's what I like about Newberry. When we first went there, it was one of them. It's a small little town, but the people there have decent values when it comes to appreciation for where they live and the people that visit them. And they always have welcomed us with open arms. And I can't remember a few of their names. I think one of the coordinators has retired. Devan, I'm not sure. I can't remember her name.
Bridget Carey.
Yes, Bridget has been. Yes. Here's Joel and Autumn. Smokin Butts is here again. So, and she just, and you get it's almost like we're a part of the town now. We're a piece of their history now because we've been there so many times. I want it to be more. Which I'm sure it's going to be, as long as we're welcome to come, Devan.
You guys are
the town, the people, we enjoy it with so much, and they seem to enjoy our food. We usually have a fantastic time. We get to see some nice music. Of course, we get to go places. That was one of the other advantages of doing what we do. We get to go to events that normally my wife and I would like to go to, but don't. But in this case, we get there for to do the event. Plus, we get to see some great music, some all kinds of neat things. So it takes us places that we normally would have never have gone before, but which is awesome because I've never heard of Newberry until we started doing barbecue. So my wife got on their list, and behold, here we are. And she
now you're fabric in the community. You're fabric in the community.
They know our faces. You go ahead.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, so again, I was saying that your faces, that you're a part of the fabric of the community. You're a welcome person. But what about in that barbecue community that you guys see? And I know that you probably encounter a lot of these other competitors at the events and just out there on the circuit. What do you feel like you learn from those folks that you're around playing cards with overnight and competing alongside, but also kind of just spending a lot of time with?
Well, I've learned a few things. The guys, they're a great bunch of guys, women. Some of them have their kids. Don't believe a word they tell you because nobody's going to tell you their secret. It's just one of those things that, and there's a little bit of ribbon that goes on between everybody else, hey, this, joking and this. And but it's all in good, fairness. And it's just a good place to be. And everybody, all the competitors are friendly. We just have a good time. Everybody says, hey, how's it going? Things going great? Need anything? If you need a hand picking up something, or if you forgot something, they're more than welcome to put their hand out or help you out. Outstanding group of people. They really draw a good group of people. It's really a good family-oriented place to be. The streets are clean. The city is almost awesome. I mean, when I was there, I just look. You almost step back in time in a sense because it has that nostalgia. It's awesome.
And I would love to piggyback off what you're saying, Joel. So Bridget, she's my manager. She's the event manager. She hasn't retired yet, but that's just a testament to her and her hard work. She's also the downtown liaison. So she's always going downtown, checking in on the businesses and just having the same values that Joel is speaking of with the community of Newberry.
Yeah, and I know that Newberry Chamber of Commerce is heavily involved, as well as the city is involved in this organization. And like you said, it brings a lot of people into the downtown and brings some revenue and money and just attention to a small town community that folks might want to come back and visit again. So, Joel, going back to the competition quickly, and I want to know, what does it take, you feel like, to be successful in these Southern BBQ Network competitions?
To be successful, we just kind of do what we always do. We don't try to change anything. We're not better than the next guy next to us or the other guy competing down the other end of the street. We don't claim to be better than anybody. We have to prove our stuff to the judges. And so what we do is what we do on an everyday basis. We don't change a thing. And this is our product. This is what you expect from our window, from our food trailer. And so that's what we do. We just kind of take it in stride. You know, if it's good, clean, wholesome food, you may not win the competition, but I'll tell you what, you put an awful lot of smiles on a lot of people, and they love what we do.
You move a lot of barbecue too, I'm sure.
Yeah, we go through a few pounds.
Okay, so earlier on, you talked about one of the things you need is ibuprofen or acetaminophen or some pain relievers and those types of things. And you're up all night long and you're going to the competition. Of course, you got to drag your rig down from Kershaw and all these other great places you go. Joel, that's a lot of work. What keeps you doing it?
I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. Well, I like what I make. I normally don't eat from other people's food trailers, not just at the barbecue place. I'm just in general, because I enjoy my own cooking. I really do. And I like it when people see me look in my food trailer and they say, yeah, I'm having a barbecue sandwich. That's my barbecue sandwich. I'm very happy with what I do. But getting back to it, as far as the competition is concerned, like I said, it's not much different than what we do on a daily basis. It's just an addition, which creates a little bit more havoc in the food trailer as you're trying to sell and get ready for the judges, because there is a time frame. You have to turn your plates in at a certain time. They have to be a certain way, which I haven't figured out yet. I mean, they tell you how to do it, but I still haven't figured out. I know there's a trick to it somewhere. There has to be. My wife and I sit there and say, oh, this is acceptable, so we'll just turn it in. But yeah, it is a little bit hectic because now you're on a time frame, plus you're getting ready to sell to the public at the same time. So you're kind of like doing two things at the same time, plus worried about make sure your equipment's running correctly, make sure you have everything you need, everything set up properly so you don't have any snafus along the way. Like your internet goes out and you don't have any POS anymore, then you're down. So there's a lot involved. It's not just, hey, here we are. There's a lot that goes on behind the curtain, so to speak.
Yeah, and of course that's Joel Macko with Smokin Butts and More, a competition and food truck that's you'll find all over South Carolina. We'll also have Devan Moore from the city of Newberry. And so, Devan, I'll ask you the same thing. I know you've kind of been on the job for about a year there in the city of Newberry, and your first rodeo ride on Pork in the Park. What keeps you involved? Why are you engaged in this? And maybe also give us one more sales pitch for why folks might want to come out to the city of Newberry April 25th and 26th.
Yeah, yes, sir. So I got involved. My longtime wrestling coach, Cy Ringwright, he sent me this job opportunity, and he thought it would be a good fit for me. And I honestly love it. Just seeing all the hard work come together on one day, such as Oktoberfest, months and months of planning beforehand, from application processes to closing the road permits. just seeing it all come together. And like Joel said, just to see the smile on everyone's faces to come out and have a good time. And that's honestly the reason why everyone should come out on April the 25th and April the 26th. You're not going to experience anything like this in Newberry but one time a year. And that one time a year is going to be Pork in the Park. We have a whole sanctioned barbecue competition going on throughout the whole day. With that, plus great music, the Opera House will be selling beer and wine, so you can come out there and have a drink with your family. And if you bring the kids, we have kids activities for it. So just the atmosphere itself. I went through every single event from Juneteenth to the Christmas tree lighting and Oktoberfest, but I've been telling BC Bridget the whole time I've been here, I'm ready for Pork in the Park. I think that's going to be my favorite.
And there it is. The final word from Pork in the Park from Devan Moore with the city of Newberry, as well as Joel Macko from Smokin Butts and More. Guys, thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
You've been listening to the Low and Slow Barbecue Show. If you like what you hear, give us a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast stream. You can also share our podcast with your friends. And of course, visit us at lowslowbbqshow.com. That's where you can see all our blogs and our other pitmaster interviews. Some of the competitors in the Southern BBQ Network will be there, as well as now the interview with Joel Macko from Smokin Butts and More. And of course, you can subscribe to our newsletter. We'll send it to your email inbox on Tuesday mornings. And don't forget, we've got a YouTube channel. You can see the video from the Carolina Barbecue Festival, as well as all of our pitmaster interviews as well. Thanks to our production team at the Mesh.tv network of podcasts, especially Andrew Moose. He's the man behind the monitors. Thanks again to our guests, Joel Macko and Devan Moore. Most especially, thank you for listening. Remember, for the best barbecue and the best barbecue podcast, keep it low and slow.